dinner table. The young man didn't want to be there. The holidays always felt like walking into a movie where everyone else knew their lines, and he was ad-libbing. The familiar rhythms of family conversation, half love, half landmine, seemed designed to pull him back into patterns he was trying to leave behind. He caught himself folding inward the way he always had when tensions rose. But this time, he stopped. "You already know you're right," he later wrote to a mentor. "The moment I came back downstairs into the party with a better attitude, a bunch of awesome shit happened all at once. I'll tell you about it later, but just know you were spot on as always." What had shifted wasn't the room. It was him, he reminded himself. What am I here for? The answer felt immediate. To choose. It wasn't about controlling his relatives' moods or opinions. It wasn't about proving a point or retreating to safety. It was about deciding who he wanted to be. Right here, right now. When he returned to the table, he softened. He engaged. It wasn't perfect. Awkwardness still lingered at the edges, but something broke loose. People responded to his openness, mirroring the energy he gave. Conversations deepened. Smiles felt less forced. "You never cease to dazzle and enchant, despite my quips to the contrary," he admitted in the same text. "Your wisdom and reminders to keep walking toward the light, they stuck. And you were right. When I chose better, the tunnel itself felt less oppressive, almost like I could appreciate it for what it was." The transformation wasn't magic. It was a decision, made and remade with every passing minute. He knew that healing wasn't linear, and history didn't erase itself just because he wanted it to. His family carried generations of unspoken hurts, some of which had been passed down so quietly they barely noticed the weight. But as he sat there, leaning into the discomfort instead of turning away, a thought struck him. Maybe the work we do today doesn't just change the future. Maybe it echoes backward. Maybe by healing himself, he was healing the wounds that had shaped his parents, his grandparents, and those who came before. He'd heard it said that 7 generations of trauma could be undone by the work of one person. Maybe it was true, maybe not. Either way, it gave him comfort. The holidays didn't feel perfect. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to move forward, to act on principles instead of instinct, and to align his choices with the person he wanted to be. "The sprinkles of your magic have me on such a high," he wrote. "It's been exponentially easier to forget, or maybe even appreciate, the tunnel." Each interaction at that table became an opportunity to rewrite something, not just for him, but for the story his family would tell long after he was gone. He understood now that healing wasn't just about the self. It was omnidirectional, sending ripples into the past and the future. As the new year approached, he found himself asking a question meant not just for himself, but for anyone ready to step into the unknown. What will you choose today? The answer wouldn't solve everything, but it would write the next chapter.